Hello beautiful people, and welcome back to Darcy Holistic. Welcome to my first series, My Healing Journey. Today is part 1, Rock Bottom. Today I'm going to be telling you a little bit about when I hit rock bottom, but first the point of me talking about rock bottom is that for a lot of people their healing journey begins after a really traumatic time in their life. That's when they can start healing, start awakening essentially. When someone hits rock bottom, you know, they're at their lowest point, and when they hit rock bottom there's no choice but to go up from there. And I think that's why a lot of people turn their life around when they've hit their rock bottom. Everyone's rock bottom is different. When they've been through those traumatic experiences, you can sink or swim, and for a lot of people, they want to turn their life around, they want to go up, they want to improve and grow and thrive in their lifetime. So I want to take you back on a little journey through one of the hardest times of my life, and it was back in January 2019. During this time, as some of you would know already from my previous videos, I used to struggle with really crippling anxiety that led to panic attacks that really intruded on my life. I was struggling with major anxiety. I was so unhappy with my life and everything that was going on in it. I was unhappy that I had anxiety. I was unhappy with things that were happening at work. I was unhappy with things in the home. I was unhappy with my health. Just the lowest point mentally that I've ever been, and I'd completely lost myself. I didn't know who I was anymore. I didn't know what I enjoyed anymore. I just didn't know what made me tick. And it was just, I have no idea how it took me so long to recognize that. And I didn't have any really close friends that I could totally be myself with. I had some friends, but no one who I could sit down with and talk to about my struggles or about how I was feeling about certain things. So I didn't really have any close friends that I could really be comfortable with. Both me and my partner were drinking alcohol every single day. It was just a daily routine to drive home from work, stop at the Bottle-O and get some alcohol. It was really unhealthy. We were both just so unhappy and couldn't wind down, couldn't switch off all the stress and everything that was going on in our minds. So the only option for us, or what we thought was the only option for us, was alcohol. And so that put a massive strain on our health, our mental well-being, our financial well-being as well. Our relationship was deteriorating, not because we had any issues with each other, but we both had such serious internal issues and struggles as individuals that it translated into the relationship. And so it was really starting to show. We weren't close, we didn't talk, we just worked and came home and drank, and along with alcohol addictions, I had a TV addiction, which sounds crazy in this day and age, but it was bad. That was my escape. And we had debt. We had over $100,000 in debt that was made up of credit cards, a car loan, 2 personal loans. So this was what I thought was rock bottom, and I had no idea what was coming. In that period, Dan and I decided it was time to pick ourselves up and start working on our debt, because if we fixed our financial situation, we thought that would fix everything else. But fixing our financial situation would only fix the financial situation. All the rest had to be done, you know, internally. We had a lot to learn and a lot to grow really from that stage. But starting with step 1 was to clear away our debt. Now, we did a lot of research and we came across this book, The Barefoot Investor. Now, this is a book, an Australian book written by an Australian who was also struggling financially, and he managed to turn around his financial situation for the best. And so yeah, Dan and I read this book and we started following the steps, and we paid off our $10,000 credit card. That $10,000 credit card had an interest rate of 19.99%. So yeah, that was hard. It was really hard, but we did it. So we were so excited and so happy. And then, you know, so things started looking up and we were really excited, and we had a family holiday coming up at the Gold Coast for my dad's 50th. So that was really exciting because it was the first holiday that we had ever been on where we didn't rely on a credit card or more money on our loan to actually be able to afford to go. We had saved up the money and we went on this holiday, and while we were on the holiday, that's when things started to get bad. We went out to a restaurant, a really beautiful restaurant in the casino for my dad's 50th. All of our family was there. It was a beautiful, beautiful restaurant. And I remember sitting at the table enjoying my night, and I got a phone call. And the phone call was from my manager. And didn't think this would make me feel emotional. But yes, it was a hard time. Yeah, so I got a phone call that pretty much said, Darcy, the business that you're working at is closing down, and you need to be prepared that when you come home, you won't have a job to go back to. And yeah, so the rest of that holiday was pretty crappy. Yeah, so we came back from the Gold Coast back down to Melbourne where we lived at the time, and got back on the Monday, and by the Tuesday, sure enough, I had no job. And that was really hard because we had just made our first major milestone with our financial situation by paying off our credit card. So it was a real struggle. And then about 6 or 7 weeks later, Dan lost his job too. And our debt was so massive back then that our weekly repayments were $850 a week, and that was more than what I was earning when I was full-time. And now neither of us had a job. So we had to use the credit card to pay our bills, and before we knew it, our credit card was maxed out again. And that was such a huge kick in the guts after trying to turn things around. This was rock bottom. This was such a hard time. And with all the stress, our drinking increased and our relationship continued to deteriorate, and our financial situation just got worse. That's my rock bottom, at least. And yeah, we didn't have much to do apart from apply for jobs, try and get work elsewhere. And we had some friends trying to help us with that, which was really nice. And on one of the days, sitting around at home after applying for job after job on Seek, I stumbled across Marie Kondo, and that's when my minimalism journey started, and that is when my healing journey started too. So if you want to see that, head to my minimalist playlist, and you can see how 10 ways that minimalism has helped me heal. But keep an eye on my channel, as next week I'll be continuing with this series. Next week will be my healing journey part 2, the decision, and you'll get to hear all about the decision that Dan and I made to turn our life around. Thanks for watching.